Richard Branson spent nearly 2 decades chasing a dream. Then he achieved it, and still lost. In 2004, Branson announced one of the most ambitious projects in modern history. He wanted to make space tourism real, not for astronauts, but for ordinary people wealthy enough to buy a ticket. The concept sounded revolutionary. A giant carrier aircraft would carry a spaceplane high into the atmosphere. The spaceplane would detach, ignite its rocket engine, reach the edge of space, then glide back to Earth like a normal aircraft. No giant rockets, no government space agencies, just paying customers flying to space. Investors loved the idea. Celebrities rushed to reserve seats and tickets sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The media called it the future, and Branson promised commercial flights within a few years. But reality had other plans. Building a profitable space company turned out to be far more difficult than selling the dream. Years passed, deadlines came and went, and engineers faced challenge after challenge. Every test revealed new problems, and every delay burned more money. By 2014, more than 10 years had passed since Virgin Galactic was founded. Hundreds of millions of dollars had already been spent, and not a single paying customer had reached space. Then came the day that nearly destroyed everything, October 31st, 2014. During a test flight over the Mojave Desert, Virgin Galactic's spaceship tube broke apart in midair. One pilot was killed, and another survived after parachuting to safety. The accident shocked the aerospace industry. For many people, it seemed like proof that space tourism was simply too dangerous. Investors lost confidence, and critics declared the dream dead. Most companies would have walked away, but Branson didn't. Virgin Galactic spent years rebuilding the program with new designs, new testing, more delays, and more money. The dream survived, but the pressure kept growing. Then a new rival entered the spotlight, Jeff Bezos. By 2021, Bezos was preparing to fly to space aboard Blue Origin, and the media immediately turned it into a billionaire space race. Who would get there first, Bezos or Branson? For Branson, this wasn't just about space anymore. It was about relevance. After 17 years of promises, he needed a victory. And he got one. On July 11th, 2021, Richard Branson reached space, 9 days before Jeff Bezos. Headlines exploded around the world, Virgin Galactic's stock surged, and investors celebrated. The dream had finally come true. But there was a problem. The successful flight solved a public relations challenge, but it did not solve the business problem. Behind the scenes, Virgin Galactic still faced the same question it had struggled with for years. How do you turn space tourism into a profitable company? Flights remained rare, operating costs remained enormous, and the company continued losing money. While the world celebrated the achievement, the economics remained brutal. Soon after the flight, Branson sold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of shares. Virgin Galactic continued raising money from investors, but profits never arrived. Then, things became even worse. Virgin Orbit, Branson's separate satellite launch company, collapsed into bankruptcy. And in 2023, Branson announced that his business empire would no longer provide additional funding to Virgin Galactic. For many investors, it felt like a warning. Today, Virgin Galactic is still alive. The company is developing a new generation of spacecraft known as Delta, and it still promises a future of regular commercial space tourism. But its stock has lost more than 99% of its value from the peak. Think about that. Richard Branson accomplished what many believed was impossible. He reached space. He beat Jeff Bezos, and he fulfilled a dream that took nearly 20 years to achieve. But the lesson of Virgin Galactic isn't about reaching space. It's about what comes after. Because Elon Musk proved that one successful launch can save a company, Richard Branson proved that reaching space doesn't guarantee a business. And sometimes, achieving the dream is only the beginning of the real challenge. A great reminder that building a spaceship is hard, but building a profitable business is harder. What's your take on Virgin Galactic's story? Comment below, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next episode. Thanks for watching!